Shalom, shalom, Akim. It's Brother Shalom here coming at you with a quick lesson. I was up this morning, just going over reading different articles, getting ready for camp. And this article on SHTF plan, crossed my eye. And it says, if the streets of America are this chaotic now, what will they be like when things really start hitting the fan? This reminded me of Jacob's trouble, and I wanted to do a quick lesson. It'd probably be only like 10, 15 minutes. But first and foremost, I want to say Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Kal Chaloyim Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Chach Rakak Wadash. I want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Shalom to you, Akim, that's pushing the rock to the four corners of the earth, trying to seal the elect. Shalom to the elect. And hasten the coming of Yahweh Shai so we can get up out of this wicked kingdom and establish our own, man. So I'm going to get right into it. It says, if you're not alarmed by what is happening to our largest cities, you should check to see if you still have a pulse. Once upon a time, the beautiful new cities that our forefathers constructed were the envy of the entire planet. But now many of them have degenerated into crime-infested hellholes that are absolutely teeming with violent predators. All right. I'm going to grab a preset first. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to the book of Amos. Salakia. Book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. And it says, behold, the eyes of the Lord, our power, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So the eyes of the Lord, that's also talking about, the angels of the Most High, are literally, watching this wicked place, man, watching every move it makes, man, and reporting back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai on all the atrocities and things that are going down, letting the Heavenly Father know, like, yo, this is reconnaissance. So basically what the eyes of the Lord are doing is reconnaissance on, this sinful kingdom, man, which is Great Babylon, aka America, man. And because of all these things, this place is going to be trouble. This place is going to be trouble, because this place is defiled by the blood of the Israelites, man. And that recompense must happen, man. The Most High has spoken, so it must come to pass. Go back to the article. It says, shoplifting has essentially become a national pastime. Open-air drug markets operate freely right under the noses of indifferent authorities, and addicts pull down their pants and take a dump whenever and wherever they feel like doing so. Thanks to record levels of illegal immigration, gang memberships is absolutely exploding, and human trafficking has reached truly frightening levels. Of course, our steadily thinning police forces are overwhelmed at this point. In fact, police in Seattle are stretched so thin that they often are not able to take reports from rape victims. And if you are the victims of nonviolent crime in Seattle, good luck ever getting a police officer to pay attention to your case. From coast to coast, communities are descending into a state of utter lawlessness. So if things are this bad already, what will the conditions be like when things really start hitting the fan? And what time is this, man? Let's go to the scriptures, man. Because we know America is literally disintegrating in front of our eyes, man. America is about to be a straight war zone, man, with all the pestilence, with the famine coming, the great famine coming, with all this Egyptian against Egyptian. You got the left wing versus the right wing, the liberals versus conservatives. You got the socialists, the communists. You got the elites trying to bring in the new world order, man. It's a perfect storm of chaos, man. It's a perfect storm of great destruction. And we know that this time, according to Jeremiah, I'm going to get that real quick. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. In verse 7, it says, alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, man. And the reason why, it literally says, alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. The time that we're moving in Jacob's trouble is going to be so much death going out, man. So much destruction, so much, listen, crime is going to be the new norm. Right now we're seeing like the prelude to it where in a lot of cities around the country, a lot of things are decriminalized. So like petty crimes are decriminalized. Cops are not coming out for it. There's also, because of fuel prices, you're starting to see that cops are not going to be driving to certain places due to the price of fuel. So it's like a perfect shitstorm for chaos and utter destruction, man. The eyes of the Lord are upon this sinful kingdom, man, and it's being judged, man. Left and right. America is being saved for last, but America's going to get the worst. It's going to be like overkill, man. Complete overkill. Matter of fact, let me go to Book of Matthew, 24th chapter, and 21. It says, For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. So the time that we're moving in is going to be the greatest. It's never in history. Never ever in history will it be a time like it's about to be, especially in America with Jacob's trouble, man. It's about to be so much bloodshed, so much chaos that it's basically going to be the Wild Wild West times a million, man. People are not going to be able to listen. It's going to be straight survival of the fittest. If you ain't got Yahweh Shem Shah with you in that hedge of protection, you are literally fucked. You are fucked, because the scriptures talk about if you don't die from the famine and the pestilence, you're going to die from the sword. And I'm going to get that in a second. But the time we live in is crazy, man. This article is literally outlining the beginnings of Jacob's trouble. So I'm going to keep reading. It says, continuing a trend that we have seen for the last couple of years, crime rates all over the nation just keep going higher and higher. For example, auto theft, grand larceny, and transit crime are all up by more than 50% in New York City so far this year. Data released by the New York City Police Department showed grand larceny auto increases by 51.1%, with 5,420 incidents as of June 5th, compared to just 3,587 incidents by the same time in 2021. That category had one of the largest upticks during the most recent crime statistic reports covering May 30th to June 5th. Grand larceny incidents spiked by 50.1% from 20,659 incidents reported in NYPD as of June 5th, compared to 13,713 reported during the same period last year. Meanwhile, overall, transit crime surged to 53.6% so far this year. I thought that the new mayor was elected to end the crime wave. Instead, it appears that it has been supersized. One way to hide the rapid rise in crime is to decriminalize things that used to be major offenses. I just said that. So so what they're doing is they're decriminalize a lot of things. Like in Portland alone, they have a open drug policy now where people can literally use any kind of drug. But then there was an article coming out that overdose rates shot up to 41%. 41% after they legalized all these drugs and opioids, man. And why are they legalizing it? Because most of the people that are taking those drugs are white people anyway. So they were decriminalizing it, therefore, and also they decriminalize it because they're not going to be able to keep up with the crime rate. It says, in Portland, voters decided to decriminalize hard drugs, but that just turned the city into an open-air drug market. The streets of Portland resemble an open-air drug market after state officials schemed to decriminalize hard drug led to a surge in overdose deaths, critics claim. Law enforcement agents say that the streets of Portland are full of homeless addicts openly buying and selling drugs, at the signs of drug addiction are actually increased statewide. Fox News reported photos show the desperate situation in the liberal Pacific Northwest city, where people can be seen shooting up drugs or passed out in broad daylight. At one time, Portland was one of the most magnificent cities in the entire world. Now it's a horror show. On top of all the ordinary crime that is going on, now we are witnessing a very alarming rise in political motivated violence. The Supreme Court decision that will overturn Roe versus Wade is expected to be released this month, and a group known as Jane's Revenge has announced that it is open season on those who pro-life views. Now, who got pro-life views? We are pro-life views. So we will definitely be a target in that, because Yahweh Shem Shah said children are a blessing, man. So we as Hebrew Israelites, and our religion is following the law, statutes, and commandments, of the Most High. We are part of that open season, man. And we know that a great insurrection is coming down on our people in the very near future with first and foremost the famine of the word, And then, with the actual persecution of the men of the Lord, man. Like shit is is definitely coming to an all-time crazy synopsis, man. It says, I'm gonna skip that part. I'm just drop down the word here. It says, sadly, even though the official Supreme Court decision has not even been released yet, there has already been quite a bit of violence. In fact, it is being reported that there have been more than 36 attacks on pro-life groups, churches, and crisis pregnancy centers in recent weeks. An armed would-be assassin allegedly attempted on the life of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh last week is part of a wave of violence, arson, vandalism, intimidation targeting pro-life groups and government officials since the leak last month of a Supreme Court opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade. There have been more than 36 such incidents directed at crisis pregnancy centers and churches in at least 20 states and Washington, D.C., according to a tally maintained by lifenews.com, an anti-abortion site. The thin veneer of civilization that we all take for granted on a daily basis is rapidly dissipating, and our streets are becoming more uncivilized with each passing day. If this is happening while economic conditions are still relatively stable, what will happen once things start getting really crazy out there? In some parts of the world, the food crisis has already reached critical levels. For example, the government in Sri Lanka has actually shortened the work week so that workers will have more time to grow their own food. Right? I'm going to skip down. It says, over in Africa, the United Nations has stopped feeding approximately 1.7 million citizens of South Sudan because they simply do not have enough funding to feed the rapidly growing throngs of desperately hungry people. And right there, that's a perfect shitstorm, because once you have limited resources, especially food, people are going to start going crazy, right? They're going to start going crazy. Matter of fact, let me grab that. I'm on 2 Ezra 15, and I'm sorry, 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Exactly. Because destruction is coming. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, because destruction is coming to this world. This is a world event. This is why it's like a time no other. This is a world cataclysmic event, man. And chiefly going to be in America with Jacob's trouble. But listen to this, man. People are going to be fighting against one another, right? For resources, for food, because crime is at an all-time high. People are going to be like, man, you got to get it where you can get it. People are not going to care about the laws of the land or the laws of their presidents or their kings, their queens. They're not going to care about the police force. They're not going to care about none of these things, man, because the power is going to be in their own hand. I mean, like, look, man, nobody out here protecting us. Look, the cops haven't come out for one call in the past 3 months. We got to go and protect ourselves. Crime rates, murder rate, violence is going to go skyrocket. It's going to skyrocket. And we're looking at the perfect shitstorm. It's literally coming now. It says, verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because the cities are going to be troubled. Actually, ground zero is going to be in major cities, man. Ground zero is major cities, because everybody's already on top of each other. Everybody's already in close proximity. So everybody's going to be trying to take what they can take. The access to other people is right there, man. It's right next to them. This is going to be crazy out here, man. And it says, for a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Literally for great tribulation. And what is that tribulation, man? That tribulation is going to be the perfect shitstorm of famine, pestilence, violence, rape, genocide, your party versus my party. The house divided cannot stand. It's a perfect shitstorm of what's coming, man. It's a perfect shitstorm. So I'm gonna go back to this article. It says, I must drop down. It says, all of the experts are telling us that the global food crisis is going to get a lot worse as the months roll along. If the UN has already reached the limit of what they are able to do, who is going to help the millions upon millions of hungry people that will soon need help in order to survive? These people are going to take matters in their own hands. They're going to be going after the governments. They're going to be going after each other, man. Society itself is breaking down as we know it. But we know that the elite on the left-hand side want order out of chaos. They're going to end up, coming in like the Great White Hope. Hey, look, we have a new system, new world order. Everybody will have food rationing. Everybody going to need to take this RFID chip. Everybody's going to be part of the socialist totalitarian system. This is the only way to make the world work, peace on earth. False promises, man. The devil, man, that the Bible speaks of, man, is going to come in hard. It says, here in the U.S., food production has been affected by a bizarre series of disasters. See, exactly. America actually produces way more wheat than we actually consume. We actually produce way more beef than we actually consume. We actually produce way more poultry than we actually consume as a country alone. We produce our own food on a very large scale. I think they said that we did like 85 million megatons of wheat, but America only consumed about 65 million megatons. Same thing with beef, right? Same thing with poultry. Same thing with other agricultural things. Like we already overproduce corn at such a high rate because we use a lot of the corn for ethanol, for fuel, right? So America has to literally, the elite have to have a siege on America for their plans to work over here. In other places, they can just starve them out. Here, they have to create the starvation for them to actually put us in this predicament, right? It says here in the U.S., food production has been affected by a bizarre series of disasters, and we are being warned that much less will be produced this year than originally anticipated. I think the one expert summed up the current situation very well when he warned that we are teetering on the edge right now. Pennsylvania farmers are being crushed by the record cost of diesel, so much so that questions about a food crisis are starting to loom. The Morning Call reported one farmer in Lehigh County is quoted as saying, "I've got a tractor hooked up to my corn planter over here, no diesel fuel, and I can't afford to get any." So the thing is, the way they starving us out was energy cost. They had to get rid of the fertilizer. They had to get rid of the petrol money. They had to get rid of the diesel fuel. That's the first to go. And that was the fuel that literally, fertilizer and diesel are the two major factors when it comes to farming, and transportation in America. All right. So they had to go after that first. And then if you brothers already know about mysteriously, what it was over 200 different food processing plants have already burnt down. That can't be a coincidence, right? That can't be a coincidence. Not to mention Bill Gates has bought up most of the farmland, and then he's already trying to implement his own synthetic beef or synthetic meats, and said we all should be eating synthetic meat. Now all of a sudden, literally, what was 10,000 cattle died in America because of a supposed heat wave. Over 10,000, and there's videos showing them with tractors picking up these cattle and putting them in line. It was all this meat going. Then all of a sudden, they're talking about we have a wing shortage. Then all of a sudden, because of bird flu, they had to destroy a lot of chickens. We got the pork industry, even though we brothers don't eat pork, but the pork industry is being destroyed because of swine flu. Like everything is being targeted, and you can't tell me that you can't tell me that it's a coincidence, man. We know that this is all orchestrated. It was all planned out and orchestrated. All right. I'm gonna scroll down. It says if we eventually get to a point where food prices spiral completely out of control and there are widespread shortages, do you think that those living in our core urban areas will respond with grace and patience? Of course not. Exactly. Like I said, we are at the end, man. This is the end. This is the end, man. Jacob's trouble Jacob's Trouble, Family of the Word, Jacob's Trouble, Family of the Word, the RFID chip, the Mark of the Beast, and World War III are the last big prophecies that we need, man. Are the last big prophecies, man. Our big brother Yahweh Shai is on his way back as we speak, man. And our salvation is nearer than what we believe. Let me get one more precept. Oh no, this article keeps going. Let me see. I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, of course not. Instead, people will go absolutely nuts. We got a small preview of what is coming during the Arab Spring of 2011, where there were serious food shortages around the world that year, and the result in tremendous civil unrest. Here in the United States, most people do not have large amounts of food stored up, and that is especially true in our largest cities. So we better hope that the rapidly growing global food crisis does not affect us too severely, because the truth is that we are definitely not equipped to handle such a scenario. It is finally here. Michael's new, Nope, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm leaving that. So we better hope that rapidly growing global food crisis does not affect us too severely, because the truth is that we are definitely not equipped to handle such a scenario. Now, I've read articles talking about basically we only have a few more weeks left before everybody starts feeling the effects of famine in America, and you're right. Most people don't have stockpile food. Most people buy food for a day or two, then go to the market the next day, or they just used to eating out. People are not prepared. People don't fast, so people are not used to even eating for a day or two at alone. People need to eat like every 30 minutes. They always got to be doing it. Let's go get some drinks. Let's get something to eat. Let's eat a snack. People sitting around the house eating snacks all day, man. People don't understand that we are literally in the end. We are literally at the end, man, but we know this is the end of Esau kingdoms and the beginning of Jacob's, man. Matter of fact, let me get one last precept, and I'm in this. Let me go to, I believe it's Ezekiel. No, it's not Ezekiel. It's, no. It's Ezekiel, 7th chapter. I'm going to start at 5. And it says, thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. End is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. Like the first precept I brought out. One of the first precepts I brought out was Amos 9:8. The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, man. The Most High, the reconnaissance team, the angels of the Lord have been reporting back, man. And now the Most High is pouring his vengeance out on the world, man. The end is here, man. Verse 9, it says, and mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh Shem Yahushua that smiteth. Behold, the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed. Pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into the rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs. Neither shall there be wailing for them. The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For the seller shall not return to that which is sold, although they were yet alive. For the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. All right. I can kind of keep going. It says, verse 14, they have blown the trumpet even to make already, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. All right. We are at the end, man. We are at the end of Esau's kingdom, and it's a beautiful thing to watch Yahweh Shem Yahushua's will be poured out upon the entire earth, man. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'hafra Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect.